ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داتورانو کور داد باتورانو.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, March 4, 2025. This is RTA News and I'm Sulaiman Talash with the latest news updates. Mufti Abdul Mateen Qani, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Interior Affairs, stated that the Pakistani side initiated the fighting at Torkham last night. In response, the security and defense forces of the Islamic Emirate destroyed several checkpoints belonging to Pakistan and inflicted heavy casualties on the Pakistani side.
رابطه به تنشی که شب گذشته در ترخم از جهت پاکستانی آغاز شد.
Regarding the tension that started last night in Torkham from the Pakistani side, it should be noted that it was Pakistan that initiated the conflict. The clash began at midnight and lasted until noon. Initially, our border police tried to resolve the issue through negotiations and contact, but the other side did not listen and continued to push for conflict, forcing our defense forces. Both the border police and the Ministry of Interior and the units of the Ministry of National Defense provided strong responses, resulting in the destruction of some enemy posts and causing casualties on the other side. On our side, one Mujahid was martyred and two others were injured. The situation has now been resolved.
Maulavi Sadrazam Osmani, Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Livestock, met with Devali, the UNDP Director for Afghanistan, and her delegation. During the meeting, the minister reported that discussions focused on the construction of greenhouses in the Takhtai Pul and Hisarak districts, as well as plans for similar projects in other provinces, including Kandahar. Maulavi Fazal Muhammad Haqqani, the ambassador of the Islamic Emirate, met with Rodava Sarshat, the ambassador of India to Iran. The embassy of the Islamic Emirate in Tehran reported that both sides emphasized the importance of bilateral cooperation during their meeting, particularly in the area of trade through Chabahar port. The United Nations World Food Programme has received a $7 million grant from Japan to support nearly 300,000 people in Afghanistan. The Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Economy thanked Japan and urged for more assistance from other countries and organizations. We'll break down the details in the report.
The spokesperson for the United Nations World Food Programme in Afghanistan has announced that they have received a $7 million grant from Japan. This funding will be utilized to prevent child malnutrition, provide services to breastfeeding mothers, support people in need, and address other critical areas in Afghanistan.
With the use of this money, the World Food Programme plans to distribute emergency food aid to over 200,000 people for a period of 3 months. Additionally, 60,000 pregnant and breastfeeding mothers and young children will benefit from special nutritious food, and 30,000 school students will receive assistance as well.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Economy expressed gratitude for the $7 million grant from Japan to support Afghanistan and emphasized the importance of continuing this cooperation.
Our request to the international community and aid organizations is that assistance should be increased both in terms of quantity and quality. And these contributions should also focus on infrastructure and development aspects.
The United Nations World Food Programme also announced the receipt of €1 million in aid from France.
The Ministry of Energy and Water Resources of Tajikistan has announced that the Kasa 1000 project is expected to be operational by 2027. The ministry also noted that the project has been completed in Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan and is progressing rapidly in Afghanistan and Pakistan. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce reported that trade between Afghanistan and Iran has exceeded $2.7 billion in the last 10 months. The Chamber of Commerce and Investment noted that significant growth in relations and is urging resolutions for the challenges faced by businessmen in both countries. Let's dive into the full report.
The Ministry of Industry and Commerce has reported that in the past 10 months, Afghanistan has exported commercial goods worth $45 million to Iran. Conversely, The ministry spokesman stated that imports from Iran to Afghanistan totaled $2.692 billion during the same period.
It amounts to $2,736 million, of which $45 million are exports and $2,692 million are imports. Most of Afghanistan's exports to Iran consist of mineral stones, raisins, and leading goods.
The Chamber of Commerce and Investment has reported that trade and economic relations between Afghanistan and Iran have grown, making Iran Afghanistan's largest trading partner. They also emphasized the need to address the issues regarding transit routes.
Our request for more facilitation from Iran is that they try to reduce the costs related to the transit and transportation of our goods. The service provided at Bandar Abbas and Chabahar, especially in Chabahar, should be improved to create more convenience.
Economic experts believe that enhancing trade between Afghanistan and Iran is beneficial, as imports of commercial goods from Iran and neighboring countries significantly impact market prices.
The political inside of Afghanistan's economic stakeholders has made Iran somewhat economically dependent on Afghanistan. As the volume of imports from Iran has increased, the volume of exports has also risen. This overall can have a positive impact on Afghanistan tax revenues and customs tariffs. When the volume of transactions at the Karachi port decreases, the volume of our transport transactions at Bandar Abbas in Iran naturally increases.
According to the director of the Iran's Dragoon Customs, the exchange rate for commercial and transit goods in the first 10 months of this year has increased by 70% compared to the same period last year.
Last month, the Afghan Red Crescent Society offered health services to over 7,000 individuals in different areas of Maidan Wardak province. The organization reported that these services included providing medications, treating injuries, implementing vaccines, distributing food to malnourished children, offering health consultations to women, and other essential services. The Minister of Refugees and Repatriations report that in the month of Hut this year, over 65,000 returnees, displaced individuals and families in need received humanitarian assistance totaling more than 209 million Afghanis. According to the ministry, the aid, which included food and non-food items, cash and health packages, was provided in collaboration with national and international organizations. The mine workers were buried in an avalanche in Panjshir province. Officials from the Panjshir Department of Mines reported that the incident occurred yesterday afternoon in the Hisayawal district, where workers of the Qalat Emerald mine were trapped. The Department of Mines, along with local authorities, is currently working to rescue them. Both workers are residents of the Hisayawal district and were caught in the avalanche while on their way to work at the mines. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Stay with us to stay updated. Have a good night.
ساتوی پسرو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو داد شهیدانو کور داد